The substitute teacher passed me a student's essay and said, "This kid is describing their own kidnapping and thinks it's fiction." Ms. Brennan handed me the paper during my lunch break in the teacher's lounge, her hands shaking enough that I noticed the tremor before I even looked at what she was holding. I was a guidance counselor at Riverside Middle School, had been for 8 years, and had seen my share of concerning student work. Essays about divorce, depression, abuse written in careful metaphors that kids thought protected them. But Ms. Brennan's expression was different. She'd been substituting for David Kowalski's 7th grade English class for 3 days while he recovered from surgery, and she looked genuinely frightened. "I assigned a creative writing exercise yesterday," she said quietly, glancing around the empty lounge. "Fiction stories, any topic they wanted. Most kids wrote about zombies or dragons or their dogs. Then I read this one from a student named Lily Chen. Every detail is too specific, too consistent. She's writing about being taken from her home, about living somewhere else, about people who call themselves her family but aren't, and she doesn't realize she's describing her own life." I took the essay, 5 pages in careful handwriting with almost no corrections, the kind of writing that flowed easily because it was true. The title was The Girl Who Lived 2 Lives, and it started with a girl named Maya being taken from a house by a woman with red hair who told her they were going on an adventure. Maya was 7 in the story. The woman drove her to a different house in a different town where a man waited, and they told Maya this was her new home now, that her old parents had been pretending that these were her real parents who loved her very much. Maya cried for days but eventually accepted it because children accept what adults tell them when they have no other choice. The essay described 5 years in this new house with these new parents who homeschooled Maya, so she never went to regular school until this year, when they'd finally enrolled her in 7th grade because the truancy officers had started asking questions. Maya wrote about remembering her old house, her old room, her old dog named Biscuit, but the new parents said those were just dreams, that Maya had always lived with them, that she was confused. The details were devastatingly specific. The old house had blue shutters and a maple tree in the yard. The new house had a basement where Maya had to sleep when she misbehaved. The new parents called her Lily, not Maya. I read the entire essay twice while Ms. Brennan sat across from me drinking cold coffee and watching my face for reaction. When I finished, I looked up and asked the obvious question. "Have you talked to Lily about this?" Ms. Brennan shook her head. "I wanted to bring it to you first. I'm just a substitute. I don't know these kids, don't know their backgrounds. Maybe this is normal for her. Maybe she writes dark fiction all the time. But my instinct is screaming that something is very wrong." I looked at the student information system on my phone, pulling up Lily Chen's file. 12 years old. Enrolled at Riverside 6 weeks ago at the start of the school year. Previous education listed as homeschool. Parents listed as Robert and Susan Chen. Address in the northern suburbs. No red flags in her record. No concerning notes from teachers. Nothing that would indicate a problem. But the essay described a kidnapping. Described it from the inside with the kind of detail you don't invent. "I need to talk to her," I said. "Today, during 8th period. Can you send her to my office?" Ms. Brennan nodded, relieved to have transferred the burden of this knowledge to someone else. Lily Chen arrived at my office at 1:45. A small girl with dark hair in a ponytail and oversized glasses that kept sliding down her nose. She looked nervous, the way kids always look when called to the guidance counselor's office, expecting to be in trouble for something they don't remember doing. "Hi, Lily," I said, gesturing for her to sit in the chair across from my desk. "I'm Ms. Rivera. I wanted to talk to you about the essay you wrote for Ms. Brennan's class." Her nervousness increased visibly. "Did I do something wrong? Was it not supposed to be that long?" She said any length was fine. I smiled, trying to project calm I didn't feel. "The essay was great, really creative, very detailed. I'm just curious about your story. The girl Maya, where did you get the idea for her character?" Lily relaxed slightly. "I don't know. I just made it up. We were supposed to write fiction, so I thought about what would be interesting. A girl who gets taken but then thinks her new life is real. It's about memory and identity and stuff." Her answer was too practiced, too carefully constructed for a 12-year-old explaining a random creative choice. I pulled out the essay and read a passage aloud. Maya remembered her 7th birthday party with the chocolate cake and the bouncy house. But when she asked her new parents about it, they showed her photos of a different birthday party with a vanilla cake and no bouncy house, and Maya started to believe her memories were wrong. I looked at Lily. "That's very specific. Did you base this on anything real?" Lily's face closed down immediately. She said, "Full story is linked below or on my channel."